Yo, yo, yo. What's good, folks? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Tyrus Bane. Welcome to the Definition of Anarchy channel. And as you know, I am formerly known as Snapzilla Gorilla. Although I'm still, I can still answer to that. But, I like Tyrus Bane, you know what I mean? Pretty cool. Anyway, so I want to address something. Because I did a video last week where I talked about two more gun control bills that were introduced into the House, right? And one of my supporters shared that video shared my video to the Facebook group I'm a part of. It's a prepping group, okay? And I wanted to address a couple of responses to that video because this is what I keep hearing this, not just to my video, but in regards to, this is the typical response from this type of individual to people that warn of gun control, right? That warn of gun control legislation coming down the pipe, okay? And the typical response is, oh, they've been trying to do that since George Washington. They've been trying to come get the guns since George Washington, and blah, blah, blah. And, every time these Democrats threaten gun control, the gun manufacturers makes millions of dollars. So they're not concerned. they're not concerned, or they don't want to be vigilant because they've been trying to take guns since George Washington. No, they've been trying to take guns since before George Washington. They've been trying to take guns since King George. You understand? Before the Revolutionary War. That's why the Revolutionary War started. That's what kicked it off. When King George sent the troops to actually go confiscate shit because they was being too rebellious over here. You understand what I'm saying? So it never got to that point because the people fought back. They were like, okay, if they take our guns, we're screwed. All right. So anyway, let me ask y'all something. Have they really been trying to take our guns since George Washington? Or is this like a recent phenomenon, right? Because think about what we had back in George Washington. We had cannons, right? That shot cannonballs. We had muskets. They didn't even start having repeaters until like the 1800s, all right? So it wasn't like they had so many varieties of firearms as they do now, okay? So it wasn't until the last 100 or so years that they really were trying to go after the firearms, okay? Like maybe even before that. Let's say 150 years. Like they didn't start making gun control laws until the 1900s. So I don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, let's say that's true. Let's say they've been trying to take guns since George Washington and we were still able to keep guns. This is what y'all need to understand. The Second Amendment is not just about stopping tyrants from taking guns away. It's not just about that. It's about restricting or creating laws to prevent us from obtaining firearms that we want, right? So we might be able to keep the firearms we have, but if we want to buy more and they infringe on that, that also goes in against the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment infringement is not just about confiscation. And I wasn't just talking about confiscation in that video. I was talking about how they want to register firearms. They want to do certain things piece by piece until eventually the next thing you look up, you realize the shit. All you got is a fucking shotgun now. All you have is a bolt action rifle or something like that, or a revolver. You understand? Because you get into this mode of complacency, right? And I have to question whether these people are really supporters of gun rights, because they're talking about gun manufacturers making money every time the Democrats push legislation. So what? So? And you know what also drives sales? Lockdowns, right? tension in the country, right? Like in regards to the riots and all that stuff, the protest after George Floyd. There are a number of things that cause a surge in firearm sales, right? Not just a threat against our rights. So if you think that, because the Democrats, they've been trying to take our guns for hundreds of years. The gun manufacturers make a shitload of money when they push legislation. It's just, that's all it's doing. Then I don't know where your mind is at. All right? Because there is history of them taking firearms. Not just in this country, but all over the world. All over the world. Australia did it. Germany did it. Hell, you can't even have firearms like that in the UK. Just because every time they threaten gun control, gun manufacturers make a lot of money, doesn't mean that it's not a real threat. I don't understand that mentality. I don't understand it. We see them introducing gun control bill after gun control bill after gun control bill. And guess what? There are already laws on the books in many states that would allow them to take your firearms for no reason. They can just come confiscate it. It's called red flag laws, or ERPO, extreme risk protection orders. Those exist right now. And guess who was pushing it? Trump was pushing it, right? Trump said, I like take the guns first, due process second. So they took that as a cue to start making red flag laws in multiple states. So they can come get your shit right now. All they have to do is say, oh, you know what? Somebody said that you're a danger to yourself and others, so we got to come get your shit. No trial, right? You don't even have to be charged with a crime. All that has to happen is an ex parte hearing with a judge, right? Somebody, a family member or a co-worker or somebody that don't like you can call the police, say, I think he's a danger to himself and others. He said he has guns, he's gonna kill somebody with them. And those cops, they take it to a prosecutor or whatever, or they take it to a judge. In an ex parte hearing, meaning without the party being accused being present. So without you even being present, without even knowing that you're being accused, they can have a secret backdoor meeting with a judge, and the judge can say, okay, go get his shit. You don't even have a chance to defend yourself or explain the situation. They have given people the capable, random motherfuckers that you know, or may not even know that well. People that you might not even like or don't like you can turn the cops on you. It's happened already. Days after that red flag law was introduced in DC, or we're somewhere in the DMV, a man was killed by the police because his niece had an argument with him. You understand? Had an argument with him, got pissed at him, knew he had weapons, and sent the police over there to get his shit. And he ended up dying trying to defend his right to protect, trying to defend his right to keep and bear arms. And in Florida, when they introduced the red flag law, thousands, hundreds of people had their shit taken without due process. Hundreds within months. So they're already confiscating weapons. They're already taking guns away. They're not doing it en masse, right? They're not going door to door right now doing it. But they could do it person by person, individually. All they need is a simple phone call. And in California, we've always had red flag laws in California, right? But it used to just be family members. Only family members could do it. They just passed a law a couple years ago in California. After Trump said what he said, I like due process second, take the guns first. They expanded the people who can report and get your guns taken away, they expanded that to co-workers, doctors, people that might not even know you that well. So they expanded it. So if a co-worker hear you talking about guns, and there's some snowflake who's afraid of guns, they all they got to do is say, look, this dude was talking about guns all day, and I don't know, he's kind of big and dangerous looking. I don't know. That's all they need to come get your shit. So they can already confiscate, and they've already been confiscating people's weapons.
On the route.
They've already been doing it. Already. It's already happening to thousands of people all across the country. They're taking your shit. And not just the firearms, right? They're also doing that with what is that? Civil asset forfeiture. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. So now they're able to take your stuff, take your property, without you even being charged with a crime. All they have to do is suspect you of. All it has to do is be suspected. They don't even have to be a corroborating witness. They don't need a trial. There's no due process for civil asset forfeiture or firearm confiscation. And guess what? They're trying to expand that on a federal level with the TAPS Act. So this idea that, oh, they'll never come get our guns, they'll never succeed because they've been trying since George Washington, and every time they do this, the gun manufacturers make a lot of money. So I'm gonna rest on my laurels and say, you know what? I'm just gonna trust the system. They ain't gonna come get shit. Keep that going. Go ahead. Keep that mentality going. Keep it up. And we'll see where we end up. We'll see. And you know what? All this legislation they're pushing right now, it might not even go through, right? It might not even go through because, even though the Democrats have control of the House and the Senate, they don't have enough of a majority in the Senate right now to just pass shit all willy-nilly, unless it has something to do with budgeting and all that other shit. But when it comes to things like gun control, they still need 60 votes, but they only need it if they keep the filibuster. If Joe Manchin does not stand strong and say, you know what, we're not getting rid of the filibuster, we're screwed, right? And y'all know me. I already believe
in half of a mile,
the left-right paradigm is a lie. So if they want it to happen, it will. If they really want, right? If they really want to push this gun control through right now at this very moment, within the next week or two, they will make it to where the filibuster is gone, and they will pass these laws with a simple majority. And guess what? It's a wrap then, right? We're talking about universal background checks. I know some of you believe we should have background checks. I don't care what you believe. It's still an infringement. It's an infringement on our rights to keep and bear arms, period. If I have to go through a background check, that means, you know what an infringement is? It's an impediment, right?
Right turn ahead.
It impedes on your ability to keep and bear arms. So if I have to go, and I should just be able to pay for the firearm, right? Do a mutually consensual transaction. Go purchase the firearm and take that bitch home.
Of a mile, your
but
destination is ahead of.
If I have to do a background check, I got to pay for the background check. I got to wait for a third party to say, okay, go ahead and give him the gun. That's an infringement. And what about the flaws in the system, right? Where people have been flagged to not be able to purchase a firearm, ain't never committed a crime, ain't never did this, ain't never did that. Ain't never got caught. Somehow the system glitched, and boom.
You have arrived at your destination.
They weren't able to get their firearm.
Finished.
That's an infringement. If I have to go through a background check, that's an infringement. That's an infringement, point blank in the period. I don't care if it's an background check system. I don't care about any of that. It's an infringement. If you say, I have to register my firearm, well, that's an infringement as well. But not only is it an infringement, it is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. To be secure in my person's papers, houses, and effects. I have to tell you what I'm buying, and you know what I'm saying? I have to register this or register that. I have to let you know how many bullets I'm buying. By the way, in California, you need a background check to buy ammo. No, that's not how it should work. That's also an infringement. A background check for ammo? Come on, man. That's completely ridiculous. All these things are infringements. An infringement is not only, it's not just about taking the firearms. That's not all an infringement is. An infringement is anything that will stop you or slow you down, or anything that would cause problems when you're trying to purchase a firearm. Anything. If you're not able to go in there, go to the store, go to a private person, go to your brother or your sister and say, let me buy that up off you, without them turning you into a criminal, that is an infringement. If I want to purchase a firearm without going through a background check and that makes me a criminal, that's an infringement. So it's not just about confiscation. They're already doing that though, okay? It's called red flag laws. So don't get it twisted. They will take your shit, and they have done it. They'll be doing it, period. Anyway, I just feel like I need to address that. Y'all like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. What do y'all think infringement is? So, yeah, just let me know. Another beautiful day in Southern California. March 8th, 2021. And I'll be hollering at y'all later.